Okay, nobody asked, but I thought I would share my tips, or better said, what I think are the best things that we can do in order to become amazing parents. Um, the first point is self-care. I think it's so over talked about, but it's still under respected, if that even makes any sense. Like we hear self-care all the time, every day, but are we really caring for ourselves? And I think sometimes when we hear the word self-care, we imagine things that might not be accessible right now. And we may imagine things that will require more time, more money, um, more energy maybe that we don't have. And we forget the things that are so accessible to us like right now, like taking a nap when you have the time, putting your phone down and just being with yourself, reading a good book that makes you smile, taking a long bath with some salts, lighting a candle. As far as I'm concerned, like unscented candles do not cost that much money. They do not cost that much money. Like lighting some candles and creating a nice ambiance for yourself, it's I think it's very accessible. But anyways, self-care is very important because you cannot pour out of an empty cup. You can try to do that, but you can't do that for a long time. And it's not sustainable because when you're running on empty, and I've experienced this firsthand, my child has experienced this firsthand, my family has experienced this firsthand. When I'm running on empty, I'm I don't want to say monster, but I can't think of anything other than that. I am not a good version of myself when I'm running on empty. I lack patience. I'm really snappy, and you don't want to meet me when I'm running on empty. You really don't. Anyways, you don't want to. We don't want to pour out of empty cups. Like our children require so much attention and so much from us, and that requires us to give so much to ourselves so that we can give to them in return. Um, anyways, number two, which is I think one of the most important points. Well, I think every point is important, but this one is like one of my favorites because I'm obsessed with it at the moment, and that is self nervous system regulation. Oh my god. Oh my god. If you're living in 2023 and you still haven't tried breath work, I don't know what to say. Just turn this video off and go and try it. Go and try it and feel it for yourself because there's nothing I can say that can come close to experiencing how good it feels. It's mad. It's mad. And the only thing I want to add to this nervous system regulation thing is I just want to ask, like, have you ever felt like you're being hijacked, or something happens and then after some time you feel like you had just been hijacked by the situation and you just had zero control over what you were doing, or you sort of watched yourself going crazy or lashing out and you there was no way for you to like stop it. I don't know, have you ever experienced that kind of situation where you felt like you had zero control, your body was functioning on its own? Try nervous system regulation. It's amazing. It's amazing. For especially when you feel like you've been hijacked, it will just bring you back immediately, and it will I feel like it reduces those moments when we actually just get lost in the thoughts, in the emotions connected to certain events, and it helps us heal so much and release, like the amount of release that occurs from just breathing is mad. If certain people could bottle this up and sell it to us, they would, because it's that good. I heard someone say, I'm surprised breathing is still free after what I just experienced. That was after a breathwork session. It's amazing. Anyways, point number three, I have my notes here. Educate yourself. I know we've all had families around us for the most part. We've all seen children being raised. We've been raised ourselves. We've experienced so many babies around us for the most part. But. I say this with a lot of love and compassion. You do not know what you don't know until you know it. There's no way to know what you don't know until you know it. And there's people that have dedicated their freaking lives to understanding certain things. Do you really think that you know better than they do? I don't know, but I honestly believe that. No, I don't believe that. I know that the best thing to do is to find an expert in whatever you're not understanding or in whatever is not amazing in your life and that you're trying to make amazing, and just mirror whatever they are doing, because there's a strategy to so many things. Parenting is one of them. Like, there's so many things that we think we know, that we take for granted, and that we actually have no clue. No clue. And I'm speaking from personal experience. Point number four is just a gentle reminder that this being that you call your child, your baby, is a person. I'm just kindly calling for like a slight shift of perspective. When you interact with this being that you call your child, remember that this is a person, a full grown person. It's not an empty slate that you have to fill up. It's not some ignorance thing that you have to mold into exactly what you want. It's a person. Just remember that. And I think viewing children from that perspective, and again, I just said children, from that perspective generates more um, reverence towards their process, towards watching them grow and evolve in this life. It's my personal opinion, like I said. Point number six. I like this one. Point number six is deal with your trauma. Deal with whatever is dealing with you. Because if you don't, you're gonna make your children's lives hell in certain situations that trigger you when it has absolutely nothing to do with them. They will be paying the price for whatever is messing you up. And I say this from personal experience. I'm gonna tell you a small story, like a really, really short story. I think I've mentioned this before, but yeah. Um, Once upon a time, about 5 years ago, 5 years ago, I was sitting on the ground on a mat. My daughter was just playing around me, and then suddenly she held me by my neck. She was standing behind me. She could barely walk. She was standing behind me, and she tightened her hands around my neck, and I had a reaction that had absolutely nothing to do with the situation. And I heard Dr. Gabor Mate, say that a trigger. So sorry if I can choose the words, but it was something like a trigger. You have the reaction you have when you're triggered is like someone is poking an open wound, and you react exactly the way you reacted when the wound was first caused. I hope I have not completely just butchered what he said. I think that's what he said. So, anyways, the reaction that I had no coherence whatsoever with the situation. Like, it's a 1 year old holding my neck. I could just lift her tiny fingers and just do this if they make me uncomfortable, and they were not that tight. But what I did, I literally just pushed her to the side. And no exaggeration whatsoever. And I turned around and looked at her. I'd literally been hijacked by my past. And I couldn't understand, why would I react so violently? Like, why? I felt so guilty. I felt so bad. And in my meditation the next day, um, after, because I thought about it so much, why would my reaction be so wild? Like, I could literally just pick her hands off. And what came back to me, or came up to me during my meditation, was a memory of something that had happened to me when I was about 10 years old. Something that I had never spoken about, something that I had never even given much thought to. And that thing had literally just come, and I was about to have my child break her head on the ground because of that. When I was 10 years old, I was at a summer camp, and some boy tried to strangle me. I really literally thought that I was gonna die on that day. That was how tight he held my neck for no reason. I was standing there because we would arrive in the morning, and then we would have some sort of assembly, and then they would dispatch us into our various activities. And suddenly I just felt someone's hands around my neck. He was not even my friend, it was not even someone I spoke to during that summer camp. Just so random, it made no sense. Like, he held my neck so freaking tight. He was trying to kill me, like, for real. I think 10 seconds more and I would have passed out. Anyways, that was what happened, and that was what came up for me. Something that I thought, I was like, yeah, it happened, it was traumatic, it was horrible, but yeah, I'm totally over it. Turns out I absolutely was not. And that is just an example of something, mm, that I would call maybe small, because there's things that are so much deeper in us that impacts the way we react, impacts the way we talk. Suddenly, maybe your child is running around the house. They're not necessarily loud. It's just a random example. They're not necessarily loud, but something about them makes you suddenly feel very uncomfortable, and you're like, just sit down in the corner for no reason. You just feel like they're running around, not damaging anything, is a disturbance to your life. Things like that. We have a lot of reactions that we think are natural, that we think come from us, that is just that are just remnants from our past that we're sort of replaying, if that makes sense. Anyways, deal with whatever is dealing with you. My next point is, who do you spend time with? Whew, oh my gosh. Let me sit straighter. Who are you spending time with? If you have the goal, like me, to be an amazing parent, like to be the best possible parents that you can be, you need to be very, very, very picky as to who you're spending time with. Do these people aspire to be good parents? Are they doing their very best to be the best versions of themselves, to learn more about themselves? Do they care about children? Do these people like talk badly about children, how children are absolutely horrible, children are a mess, like why would you even want to have kids? Who do you spend time with? And when I say who do you spend time with, I'm not just talking about your family, your friends, your acquaintances, and whatever, and whoever your colleagues. And I'm not just talking about these. I'm talking about the social media accounts that you follow. What is their perspective relative to children? This is very important. You literally, it's so much, it's been said so often, but I feel like it's something that is so easy to forget, that we literally become the sum of the people, sum total of the people. Is it sum? We literally become the people we spend time with. It just what's the word? I just lost the word literally. Anyways, it's so subtle, you don't notice it, but you literally become each other. We literally become who we spend time with. We mirror them without realizing it. And that's why it's very, very, very important to make sure that the 10 people you spend the most time with in your life should be people that actually have the same goal as you, actually can shed some light onto your blind spots relative to your parenting, relative to understanding yourself. Um, yeah, make sure that our environment is so important. It's so important, and in this day and age, I feel like it's even more important because in the past, you didn't have any social media, you didn't have any phones with constant information, constant incoming news that is pulling at you, and suddenly you're listening to stuff that you hadn't really planned to listen to. You just fall into it. It's not conscious consumption. It's just, I don't even have a word for it. You know what I mean. I hope you do. But yeah, it's very important for us to pay attention to who we're spending time with and what we're consuming, what we're ingesting from these people. Is it something that is going to help us become the kind of parents that we actually want to be, or are these people that are going to make us worse than we already are, or make us help us land somewhere that we actually do not want to go? And to that point, I want to say something that is no, I'm not gonna say it. Okay, my last point is to awaken the dead. And what I mean by that is we are so much more powerful than we think we are. Sometimes it's easy due to societal norms, upbringing, and what we're surrounded by to think that we're just nothing and we don't really matter, and that there's nothing outside of this body and this mouth, and there's really nothing else to it. But we're so much more than this body and this mind. We can tap into things, and everything that you want to be, everything that we aspire to become, we already have that in us. We just have to awaken it. So technically, you're not becoming an amazing parent. You're not journeying towards becoming an amazing parent. You're awakening the amazing parent that is in you. You already are an amazing parent. It's just you forgot, or you fell into a state of being, I don't know, a mediocre parent, for example. You just enter that state because we have all these states available to us. And I don't know if I'm getting too metaphysical or whatever, but I'm just going to say how it wants to come out. All states are available to us. Everything that we want to experience is available to us. The amazing parents, horrible parents, mediocre parents, average parents, good parents, amazing, outstanding parents, it's all available in us. We decide based on what we give our attention to and the thoughts we keep thinking repetitively, what version we're going to activate or awaken or bring to life. I hope that makes sense. I think it did. So tell yourself, literally, tell yourself, I am an amazing parent. When you wake up in the morning and you open your eyes, or before you even open your eyes, just start telling yourself before. And this is the best time because when you just wake up, your mind is not active. It's not going to argue with you like it would maybe during the day if you're not used to like disciplining your mind and telling and not caring what it thinks to what relative to what you say. Does that even make sense? For example, if you're telling yourself I'm an amazing parent and your mind goes, no, remember what you did yesterday? Amazing parents don't do that. And you just go on. You shut the fuck up. I am an amazing parent. If you don't have that discipline to be able to do that, the best moments are when you're dozing off and when you just wake up because your mind is not going to argue with you. Just tell yourself in your mind, I am an amazing parent. I am an amazing parent. Repeat it until it becomes part of your nervous system because you are. You literally are. The only reason you're not experiencing being an amazing parent right now is because you've activated a version of a mediocre parent, for example. That is the version that is activated. That is the thoughts. Those are the thoughts. The thoughts that you're thinking right now are the thoughts of the parent that is not amazing. The information that you're ingesting that is being bombarded at you right now is not is not activating the amazing parents. I'm gonna give you a simple, stupid example. The Simpsons. Honestly, I'm not gonna say I think The Simpsons should be banned because it brought me so much joy for so many years. So it's amazing on that side. But when you start awakening, you start seeing the messaging beneath everything that you watch. The Simpsons is wiring a lot of people, wiring the people that watch it, many of them to be mediocre parents, especially dads. Especially dads. And I don't even want to go deeper. Like, there's no need to say more. If you have a brain, you understand what I mean. So be careful of what you're ingesting. Make sure that what you're ingesting actually supports the goal that you have to be an amazing, actually outstanding parents. Because you know what? Our children deserve outstanding. They do. They do. We spend time on social media watching people that we admire in their style of parenting, and we admire how their children are being this way or that way, being so relaxed, outspoken, and this and that, and this and that. Don't you think your children could be that way as well if you just were the parents that you were born to be? Because it's not something that is being, oh my God, something that is just so out of this world, extraterrestrial that you're trying to become. No, 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 no. You were literally born to become an amazing parent. Like, your grandparents fed your parents. They did. Your parents fed you and sent you to school. So you think you feeding your children and sending them to school, you've done something massive. No, you didn't. You did not. Please. Anyways, yeah, so those are all the points that I wrote down related to this. And I hope that you got something out of it and that you will clear your environment and make it clean, purify it, maybe empty it completely, such that you can start awakening the amazing parents that you are. You already are the amazing parent that you want to be. Just remind yourself, just tell yourself, you already know what to do. You don't need, sometimes we get caught up into, oh my God, I need a new strategy. I need to know exactly what to do when my child does this or that. You don't. You really don't. You really don't. You really don't. Deep inside you, you already know what to do. But we're so disconnected from our intuition and our inner knowing that we spend so much time in our lives going outside, looking at this new strategy, looking at what this person does, watching this TV show about this thing that is not even the best thing or doesn't even have the right experts relative to what you're trying to achieve, but you just copy it. And we spend so much time just copying and pasting a bunch of, I was gonna say crap, but actually it is crap. Like, if you spend time on Facebook Watch, for example, they have these random, I was gonna say stupid, random stupid videos that come up, and how a woman made her child disciplined. That's how random the titles are. I've never read this specific title, but that is exactly how random they are. And you will see a dramatic story that catches all your attention for like 5 minutes. And then at the end, you're like, okay, what was the point? Why did I actually watch this? But since it was only 5 minutes, you don't feel it that much. But when you start compounding the 5 minutes and 5 minutes, and now the 30 seconds and 15 seconds from TikTok, you compound that and you spend just 4 hours ingesting crap that doesn't serve you and that you're literally becoming, you've just taken like 100,000 steps backwards from where you actually want to go. With that said, I'm gonna end this video. I hope you got some value out of it and that you are gonna honor yourself and really be the person that you deserve to be, that you really want to be. Bye. Thank you for watching.